Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan, and in this session we are going to discuss about the Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics. The topic has been taken from the subject Pharmaceutical Jurisprudence B.Pharm 5th semester, and it is also going to help my D.Pharm students. So before beginning to this session, if you have still not subscribed to my channel Pharmacypedia, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and all the related information related to pharmacy. So when we talk about the code of pharmaceutical ethics, let us first try to understand the ethics. In simple words, you can say ethics means the morals. It is the science of morals. It is also known as the code of moral principles or as the science of morals. So what do we mean by the morality? Morality in actual sense means good conduct or behavior and consciousness. Yes, the judging between right and wrong and following your heart. Now let us try to understand the law. When we talk about the law simply means the rules, regulations which are being framed to be followed by the mankind and has some sort of the binding. Yes, my dear students, the main term associated with the law is that it is binding. The binding is done so that in order to have all the persons in the state or nations to have the equal status. So because it has some sort of the obligation of binding, it is very much different from the morality. Now, what is ethics? Ethics in relation to the pharmacy profession is known as pharmaceutical ethics. Ethics simply means judging right and wrong, following your heart, following your consciousness. So let us try to understand the Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics. The Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics was formulated by Pharmacy Council of India. Now, what was the purpose of establishing the Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics? The Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics was framed to guide the Indian pharmacist. It was framed to help and guide the pharmacist as how he should conduct himself with relation to his job or his trade or his fellow pharmacist. What should be the conduct? What should be the behavior? What should be the attitude of him towards the medical profession, towards general appearance? So the ethics in any profession are very important. Since laws are binding in nature, ethics are not binding. This is the basic difference. In law, you do that thing because that is a foundation upon and it is accompanied by a penalty. But this is not the case with the ethics. Ethics simply means you know what is right, what is wrong, and you are doing that to preserve mankind, to save mankind. So, Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics was framed by PCI to explain and to ensure that pharmacist is carrying out his job, his trade, his profession, and in relation to other medical profession as per the ethics. Now, first let us try to understand his job. So, pharmacist in relation to his job involves the supply of medicaments to the patient. So it is the moral duty of the pharmacist not to have delays, provide the emergency supplies immediately, have sufficient amount of the drugs and medicaments to help the patient in any way. Further, it is the responsibility and moral values of the pharmacist to conduct the pharmacy in such a way that it reflects a professional character. It should avoid any sort of the medical contamination, accidental contamination during the dispensing or preparation or supply of the medicaments. Since preparation is not carried out these days, so it is related to the dispensing, wrongful dispensing or the distribution of the medicaments. It is the professional, there should be professional behavior depicted by the pharmacist while doing the practice of pharmacy. Signs, note, descriptions, or any wordings or stationery indicating should not be restrained in size, design, and terms. The medicament should be dispensed only after handling of the prescriptions. So no dispensing should be there if there is not any prescription except for the OTC medicaments. Then handling of the prescription has to be done very well. So whenever a prescription is presented for dispensing, it should be received by the pharmacist without any discussion or comment over it. They should not say why it is there. They should dispense it, and regarding the merits and demerits of its therapeutic efficacy, the pharmacist should not even show any physiognomic expression of alarm or surprise or astonishment upon the receipt of the prescription, as such types of the things may cause anxiety in the patients or their agents. It is not within the privilege of a pharmacist to add, omit, or substitute or any ingredient or alter the composition of a prescription without the consent of the prescriber. So the prescription should be dispensed as per the prescription only. Next, moving on to the handling of the drugs. All the medicaments should be taken care of very well. They should be dispensed in proportion to the weight very well. And a pharmacist should be very judicious, very wise in dealing with the drugs and the medicinal preparations, because they can be even poisonous in nature or maybe addiction forming, or they may have some other abusive properties. So such drugs and preparations, especially referring to the narcotics and psychotropic substances, they should not be dispensed to anyone if there is a reason to suppose that it is required for such purpose. So, in relation to his job, he has to be very much precise, very much judicious in taking care of the medicaments while doing the practice of pharmacy in the distribution and sale. Now, talking about the apprentice pharmacist, due care should be provided by the pharmacist to check whether the apprentice pharmacist is able to get the proper training and the facilities, so that on the completion of their training, they may have the required and sufficient techniques. They should learn the practice of pharmacy and other skills to make themselves dependable pharmacists. No certificates or the credentials should be granted unless the above criteria is being fulfilled. Now, the power of accountability. Now, we know what should be his responsibilities, ethics, and moral values with his job. Next, we move on to his pharmacist in relation to his trade practices. So, fair practices should be followed. Prices charged should be genuine and fair enough in support of the quality and the quantity being supplied to the patients. Moreover, his knowledge, his skills, time consumed, and great responsibility involved at the same time without unduly taxing the purchase. Next, talking about the fair trade practices. So, with the profession of pharmacy, a pharmacist is expected to have the fair trade practices. He should avoid the cutthroat competition which is being offered, or any sort of the prizes or the gifts or any sort of the allurement should not be there. So, he has to dispense as per the prescription wisely, genuinely, and it should serve the patients, and they should not cause any sort of the mistake, or they should not refuse to accept the prescriptions. In general, talking about the ethical practices involves the purchase of the drugs. So drugs should always be purchased from a genuine and reputable sources. They should be of superior quality. A pharmacist should always be on the guard not to aid or abet or directly or indirectly manufacture, possession, distribution, and sale of spurious or substandard drugs. So the drug should sold should be of adequate standards. Talking about the hawking of the drugs, this practice should not be encouraged. It should not happen. There should not be any sorts of the attempts to be made to solicit orders for such substances, or doing door to door services, or operating other kind of the practices which may lead to the harmful or dispensing of wrong medicaments to the patients. So, in relation to his trade, he is expected not to advertise materials on the premises or in nearby, and should be used by a pharmacist in connection with the sale to the public of medicines or medical appliances. So, any wordings or designs or illustration which reflects unfavorable effect should be discouraged. Misleading advertisement should not be there. A guarantee of therapeutic efficacy should not be there. An appeal to fear, an appeal to refund the money paid, or any sort of the price distribution should not be there. Contraceptive preparations and appliances or the illustration should not be exhibited, except a notice approved by the regulations or bearing the words family planning requisites. So, under no circumstances should lustful, obscene, and indecent publications should be made on the premises. So, pharmacist in relation to the medical profession. Next, we move on. Now we are clear what are the code of ethics to be followed by the pharmacist in relation to his job, in relation to the trade practices. Now we move on to the in relation to medical profession and limitation of professional activities. So it is expected that medical practitioner in general would not take the practice of pharmacy. The reason being they should not do this because otherwise it will lead to a coded prescriptions and monopolistic policies. So in order to avoid that, which this kind of the practice may affect the pharmaceutical profession, so it should be made a general rule that the pharmacist under no circumstances take to medical practice, that is to diagnosing disease and prescribing remedies, and therefore even if requested by the patrons they should not do so. Both the professions have to maintain their professional activities, and they should check and they should take care that they are not entering into the other's horizon. In cases of the accidents and emergency, pharmacist may however render first aid to the victim. No pharmacist should recommend particular medical practitioner unless and specifically asked to do so. Now, talking about the clandestine arrangements. So, no pharmacist should enter into any sort of the secret arrangements or any contract with a physician. So, this in order to offer him or provide any sort of the commission or any sort of the advantage for any sort of the description in return for his favor. So, there should not be any sort of the secret, you can say, agreements between the pharmacist and the doctor. Then talking about the licensing with the public. So being a liaison between a medical profession, a pharmacist should always keep himself abreast with the latest techniques. Now this is required so that on one hand he may be in a position to advise the physicians or pharmaceutical matters like those of colors, flavors, vehicles, and newer forms of administration of the medicaments. A pharmacist can contribute his share in the nation building activity also. We have seen in the pandemic era that pharmacists have duly served the nation, and they are working as a corona warriors. So a pharmacist should at all times endeavor to promote knowledge and contribute his quota in the advancements of learning. He should never disclose any information which has acquired during his professional activities to any third person or person unless required by the law to do so. Next, talking about the vigilance. Pharmacist responsibility in relation to his professional vigilance. So it is not only sufficient for a pharmacist to be law abiding, we should always be law abiding and to deter from doing things derogatory to the society and the profession. But it should be his bounden duty to make others also fulfill the provisions of pharmaceuticals and other laws and regulation. So one should always follow the laws. He should not be afraid of bringing or causing a miscreant to be brought to book, maybe a member of his own profession. So one has to be law-abiding nation to serve the nation. Next, talking about the law-abiding citizens. So pharmacist engaged in the profession has to be an enlightened citizens in order to have the fair knowledge of the land, and he should also strive to countenance and defend them. He should be particularly conversant with the enactments pertaining to the food, drug, pharmacy, health, and sanitation. Now, the talking about the relationship of the pharmacist with professional organization. So this is again very important. We need to learn, we need to grow. So in order to inculcate a corporate life in his own professional colleagues, pharmacists should join and advance the cause of all such organizations. The aims and objectives of which are conducive to the scientific morale and cultural well-being of pharmacists. At the same time, there is no way contrary to the code of pharmaceutical ethics. Now talking about the decorum and propriety, this is again very important. So a pharmacist should always refrain from doing all such acts and deeds which are not in consonance with the decorum and propriety of pharmaceutical profession. So he should be courteous, polite, decorum, he should be well mannered. and he should have these features so that patients may contact him frequently. So these are all the desired characteristics and moral values a pharmacist should carry as per the Code of Pharmaceutical Ethics devised by Pharmaceutical Council of India. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates. Thank you so much for watching the video.